What's happening right now?
You're now listening to The Creator Code, the podcast dedicated to unlocking the secrets of your favorite online creators. Each week, we will deep dive into the tech, tips, and tricks to find out what truly makes them tick. Whether you're a new creator just starting out or an accomplished veteran, this show is made for you. And now, here's your host, MattyTingles.
Welcome to the Creator Code podcast. I'm your host, MattyTingles. This is the podcast where we unlock the secrets of your favorite creators. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder, full video of these episodes are on YouTube, so check that out. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I learned recently, listeners. The only way to grow on Apple Podcasts is reviews and the star
thing.
The star review 5-star thing. So
yeah, it only comes in 5. So
if you are using Apple Podcasts, go to the page of this podcast, scroll down, leave a 5-star review, and you can also write something if you would like. But that is essentially the only thing that they look at. So the more, the better. So check that out.
Yay!
Anyway, thank you for being here, and this is going to be a great episode. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. I am talking a grand total of 555,000 subscribers, 67 million views, incredible artist, ASM artist, streamer, you name it. She's probably very good at it. And most importantly, I get to call her a good friend of mine. Of course, I'm talking about ALB. ALB, hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
Like I'm good in this moment. Like in this moment talking to you, I'm good.
Yes.
In the grand scheme of life right now.
Understood. Yep. Completely get it. Love the background. Everything is yes. All right. Welcome to the show. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay.
I'm so happy
let's
to
get
be
right
here.
to it.
Also, I would just like to say one thing before we get started, which was,
please.
Technically, I was in the first episode of this show when we did a test pilot.
It's true.
Technically.
It's true. We did do a test pilot.
But we didn't record it visually or anything, so it was just a test.
That was prior to me realizing that I needed to do video because we're known on video platforms and
Well,
listen, but it is true. The first episode of the Creator Code podcast was with ALB, and actually, it was a really good episode for a test.
Oh,
it was really good.
It's probably why the show took off. Really,
clearly. All right, let's get right to it.
Thank you for having me, though.
Of course, it's a pleasure. Why do you think people say "heads up" when they tell you to duck?
What's happening right now? I was so ready to talk about real stuff. And then,
this is what you get at the Creator Code podcast.
Why do people tell you heads up when they want?
They're telling you to duck, but they're saying heads up. What?
Why don't you just tell me?
I don't have the answer to this. I don't know.
Wait, you're actually asking me? I thought it was a joke.
No, not a joke. This is serious journalism. Strong word, by the way. Journalism.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong word. People come. No, it was a joke, and I do not know the answer. If anyone knows, by the way, I don't get it.
I'm desperate to know now. If someone doesn't tell me.
I do not understand. All right, let's.
This was like a really good getting to know you question. We really broke the ice here.
It really. Now that the ice is broken,
it's like we're talking for the very first time.
Oh my God. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Obviously the last man, it's a year and a half now. We've been dealing with a global pandemic.
Yeah.
And I've been asking everyone this just because I think it's really interesting. What do you miss most about the world pre-pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, well, like my quick answer would be going to visit America because I'm based in Canada. It's like I married an American for a reason. I want to come visit America. I love America. I love traveling there. But honestly, the truest answer is like the illusion of choice because I mean, you know me. I didn't like leave my house that much anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was nice to think like, oh, I could though. I could leave my house if I wanted to.
That's a great.
And that's not up to me now. I live in my hamster cage.
That's actually a really good answer because I think most people will narrow it down to an actual thing. That's a really good answer though of like we lost the choice if we want to go.
I liked feeling like I could go somewhere if I wanted to go somewhere, even though a lot of the time I didn't go anywhere. But now I'm like, that's not up to me.
Right.
You know, like I go weeks at a time without leaving the apartment. So it's interesting.
Yeah. How do you think, I mean, without getting too political, how do you think Canada or Ontario has handled this?
Oh, look, I mean, like, there are so many things that I don't think the government has handled very well. And then there's things that I'm seeing in like my own community here of like people here being like, well, this is not good enough. So we're going to step in and like do what it takes to protect the community and connect to the community to like, you know, places to get the things that they need, like vaccines and stuff like that. Like that's been really amazing to see. Nice. And that's given me like renewed hope in the world because I'm just like, okay, well, we're not going to just wait, you know, like we're not going to just let people get forgotten in the system. You know? So that's been
I love that.
A nice unexpected outcome.
I mean, you know, here's the truth. All I care about is that the borders are somewhat open by September 23rd.
Yes, that's really what everyone on this planet should be working towards. Everyone needs to have this in their book. They need to know Maddie needs to come to Canada by September.
As a reminder,
my God.
I at Canada on Twitter the other day
did.
for this.
You were like,
just the whole country.
At Canada. I need to come to Canada for the Dear Evan Hansen premiere. So
it's so important.
Figure it out.
It really. We're joking. It really is important.
I know. I'm not saying it's.
I have to, and like, so I think technically I could go. Like right now, it's just a 2 week.
You have to
2 week quarantine, right?
And at 2 weeks,
that's
like,
tough. That's a lot.
You're ready to go home at that point.
Yeah. 2 weeks is a lot, and I can't even stay in the hotel that I stayed in last time because it's not even a place.
Yeah, that's not there anymore. You'd have to pick somewhere else downtown or an Airbnb or something.
Yeah.
But like I'm hoping by fall. Like sincerely, I'm really hoping by fall so we can see family and stuff again. Too. It's been a long time.
For sure. Yeah. And even if like, you know, even if they go, okay, we're going to lift restrictions, but you have to show proof of vaccination, or even if it's like a 24-hour quarantine or something, basically, what I'm saying is, let me in
snow,
by September 20th.
Rain, through hell or high water. Maddie is getting here we can watch the premiere together.
I will be there, and also, it just needs to.
I'll get the popcorn. All you have to do is come to my country, and I'll.
Are you going to eat said popcorn at theater with chopsticks?
No, at the theater I break my chopstick rule. At the theater, I actually become a different person. Once the lights go out, it's like, I'm not sitting there like, popcorn's yummy. I'm I'm taking a scoop and I'm holding my mouth open and I'm just shoveling,
dumping it in
because no one's looking at me. So therefore, I become the version of me that is like at home alone, where I'm not. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing
that
it.
That would be pretty funny though if you had like chopsticks like on your like belt and you like pull them out. You can do it in the dark
though. You need to be able to see.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about, so at least here they have these things where you can rent out a theater for you and your friends for like 10. It's like up to 20 friends, I think, and it's not even that expensive.
How much? So
I was thinking, it's like I want to say it's $150.
Oh my god,
yeah, $150 here, and then you can just be with your friends there. So here's the thing: I thought about that, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool, but I think for this movie, we want as many people as we can because
what
part of the experience of this show is going to be
freaking planet you've been on, but there's no way you're gonna be like as many people as I can pack into a room.
Okay, no. As many people that are safely there,
right?
But I think that if you need you have to have other people who are just devastated.
And then we're all kind of like hands across America. Like we're all holding hands the whole time.
Yes.
You can't let go.
I'm in. Okay. Just so you know, I'm in.
I'm telling you, we're going to see this movie together. If we don't, we'll just play this clip from the podcast back and then it will be like,
Yep. I'm in. Oh my gosh, I'm very, very.
I'm so excited about it. How many times have you watched the trailer, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
So the trailer has about 13 million views on it now.
Okay.
How
many of those?
I don't want to say. I'm probably under 10% of that, but probably close.
That's probably close. Very.
It's all I've done.
That's very responsible.
No, maybe 50 to 100. I don't know.
I actually believe that. Because like
watched it a lot.
I know just with me, you probably watched it at least 20 times. So
there you go. Yeah. And then I just booked to see it on Broadway in December.
December
15th.
You are going to be like Kelly McAllister. You're going to be like 100%. One cheese pizza just for me.
Yep.
And you're going to be sitting
in the limo.
The back of the limo like,
trust me, I know.
Evan Hansen, let's go.
I know. Trust me, these are things I've already thought about.
And while you're there, I will be Eloise at the plaza. And I'll
Please.
be like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. The best part about this is I've never seen the show. And you've seen it 20,000 times. So
I've only seen it 4 times. I've only seen it for, yeah. I mean, we won't go into that. I think they showed a lot in the trailer, but they didn't show a lot in the trailer, if that makes sense.
Should we just talk about that the whole podcast?
This is probably just going to be a different Henson podcast. This is it.
I'm honestly on board.
I wonder if that's got to exist by now. It's got to.
It does, and you're doing it right now.
This is it right now. Got it. All right, true or false? Moving on. True or false? True or false? You have dropped a can of beans on your foot, injuring said foot. True or false?
That's true. I think anyone would say true. It's a very common occurrence. I think that anyone would be able to relate to.
Do you want?
I'll tell the story because apparently
please tell the story.
It's notorious. Okay, so like I just don't get injured in like ways that you would expect a person to get injured in. Like I'm very careful. I'm very deliberate.
Yeah.
I cook every day with very sharp knives, and I don't cut myself. Yeah. I've never cut myself on a knife. Well, now I've said that, so just anyway. And I get injured in really Final Destination-esque, superfluous, ridiculous situations that simply don't make sense. That's how I get injured. So like, for example, I like just opened a closet and I guess at some point even though the closet's like pretty well organized, at some point things must have shuffled in the closet because I opened the closet and a giant can of like pinto beans fell from a high shelf onto my foot, and the like angle was such that it like hit the top of my foot, and it was incredibly painful, and my foot was like black and blue for about a month. So that's my bean can foot. It's really a cool,
which is what you're
quality.
We haven't talked about it yet, but that's what you're changing your channel name to, correct? Bean Can Foot.
This is my big announcement
that
today.
Yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here to say I'm no longer ALB in Whisperland. It's now Bean Can Foot. Thank you.
When you told me this story, you did not include the info of a giant can. So what are we talking?
Like a big, like not a little can. Like we're talking about, you can get the oversized cans.
Okay, so you're talking.
You're in this house.
Oh, got it.
So like a big
I pictured
can.
it being a normal.
No, it was like a big can. Understood. It hurt a lot. It's only just healed.
I bet. What's I almost said chat like I'm streaming.
Chat, what do you think?
Listeners out there, put down in the comments, especially if you're on YouTube, what's the most obscure thing that you've gotten injured by?
Listeners, please put in the comments, what kind of bean would you like to fall on your foot? We have garbanzo.
Far as beans go.
As far as beans, if you had to pick the specific type of bean to get injured by, what would it be?
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite bean?
Yeah, I do.
What's your favorite bean?
I really like chickpeas. They're technically considered a bean.
Is chickpea a bean?
Yeah, it's a bean. I think that is garbanzo beans. But that's by a different name.
They're tricky.
A rose by a different name.
I love it. Okay, anyway, I can't wait to read your guys' comments about how you've been injured.
Yeah, it's fascinating podcast content.
That should be good times. Okay, moving on. Now that we're 20 minutes in and haven't spoken about anything,
I think we really have been doing a great job. I don't know what you're talking about. This is about as entertained as I can possibly be.
I concur. All right. November 2nd, 2012. That's nearly a decade, by the way.
Yeah.
Was your first upload.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it's been that long?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have only been 6 years old when that was posted. So it's amazing I could even use a computer at that point.
That's incredible.
I think that should be commended.
Prodigy.
I mean, it does feel like a really long time ago because I feel like my content has it's
for sure.
It's so different now. But what ASMR was in 2012 is so different than what it is now. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah, I'm coming up on 10 years. Should I be doing something special? What's the 10-year anniversary gift? Because does
that make you an OG? That makes you an OG ASMR artist, by the way.
It's not for me to say.
10 years. 10 years?
Yeah, it is a long time though, right? It's a really long time.
I'm only at 5.5, almost 6.
Well, as your elder, I just want to urge you to keep going.
Is there a 10-year? I don't know. Is there?
Well, okay, so the fifth year wedding anniversary, I think, is one is leather, then one is wood, then one's iron. 6 years is iron. Like, what's the 10th year? I don't know. I feel like I should do something special, though. That would be cool.
You should.
I should re-record the same video somehow. I don't even know what my first video was. I think it was like comic books or something like that.
That would be kind of cool, though. Like if you did it shot for shot and put the original down
I don't
the bottom
even have
left.
The original comics from that video.
Oh yeah, right. No, that's what it is. It's a comic. You're like shuffling through. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that whilst doing research for said
research. You don't just have all these facts about me.
This isn't all the time. I wanted to say this, by the way, because I've been asked this, and honestly, I do make this podcast for creators out there who are trying to learn. And by the way, that doesn't mean just new creators. That's like me. too. Like
no, I mean, I've watched all your other episodes. Like, I'm like trying to learn, you know?
So what I get asked this a lot, and this may take a little bit of allure away from me, but I just think it's important to say. So when I do shoe collection videos, I know maybe half of the stuff that I say. The rest, I actually sit down, do research of each shoe, write it out, and then put it in front of the camera. So I have kind of a script of that. Because people ask, like, how do you know all these little things? And
the shoe specs.
The specs, exactly. And so I just think that's a good, and I do that with sponsors too. If I have to like say if they send a copy that I have
the specific wording and stuff,
right. And so I know that you do like scripts and stuff, which is
that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't do scripts for a lot of my videos. I would say it's probably like 15% of my videos are scripted.
It's so good though. It's like I wish that I had the patience to sit down and write.
Oh, me too. I really hate doing it. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway, just know, like, you know, if you're out there and you're creating and you because I've had people that say like I feel weird reading things while I'm just know that that's very normal, and I do it too, even for something that I think that I'm knowledgeable.
No, for sure. I mean, at one point I even looked into a teleprompter because me too. I don't like memorizing really long scripts. Like I'll only do a script if its parts are scripted or if I can reference frequently or something like that. Or like you with the shoes, I'll make notes. And then it's like, you come back to this point, ad lib, come back to this point, right? As kind of like a way of like centering it, of like, you know, it's supposed to follow this general plot. But I did look into a teleprompter at one point, and like I had done teleprompting stuff for live TV. And then when I tried to do it for a video, I was like, this looks weird. This does not look good. I never uploaded that video. I was like, this is no.
You know what? This is an amazing segue into the next question. That's
is crazy. It another duck question?
Incredible segue. So speaking of teleprompters, you and I were in a movie together.
When?
I want to call it early 2019.
Yes. Oh, was that you?
Pre-pandemic. That was that was me.
The whole time.
But and that was the first time I'd ever used a teleprompter in my life.
That feels like a different world, doesn't it? Like that to then like a couple months later, like this. It's just very humbling.
So talk to me a little bit about your experience on that movie shoot.
Oh, it was like an amazing time. I mean, I got to meet MattyTingles, so pretty cool. No, but seriously, I mean, it was amazing to even be in a space where we were with other ASMR creators, because I kind of feel like a loner doing this. Like, I don't know other than like you, but I'm talking about like people in my immediate real life who I see every day. Just kidding. I don't see anyone every day anymore. That outside does not exist. But like in real life, like I don't have ASMR creators who are friends, although I do have friends who do YouTube, but getting to like be in a room with people who just like got it was spectacular, because I was just like, oh, these are my people. Like I don't have to explain myself to you, you just get it.
I think that was really interesting, because I at least from my perspective, it really felt like we all clicked like almost right away.
So fast.
You know what I mean? Like we showed up, I think we showed up, and the first time we met was at the fitting, right? Or the
talk about a humbling experience. I was like I remember giving GB a hug and being like, oh my God, hi, because we'd never met before. And then it was like, now go put this on. And then being ushered out to be like, how does this look? And I was like, oh, hi, everybody. And then like you came in the room and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. And what a, like, that was one of the coolest parts for me. I remember walking into that room, and like they had like photos of us on the wall. They had like inspiration. I was like, whoa.
Like they went through your IG and they were like, this is Maddie's style, and we need to follow the style story.
That was crazy. What was your experience with the clothing and the fitting?
Well, it was really funny because so we had an amazing stylist, and in the email correspondence and stuff, because of course we had like Skype meetings and whatnot before actually coming and shooting the movie to make sure we're all on the same page with what the plan was and go over the script and blah blah blah. And with regards to the wardrobe, like we had done emailing a little back and forth to be like, what we went through your Instagram, like these are the kind of like things that we think would look good on you. And I emailed back and I was like, this is great, everything looks great, blah blah blah. P.S. Don't be afraid to put me in a suit. Because I didn't really have any suit pictures like on my Instagram or social media up until that point. But I just put like a little, I was just like, and don't be afraid to put me in a suit. And then when I got to set, they had me try on a couple of things, but then the stylist brought out this pink suit and she was like, I think this is it. And I was like, okay. And I put it on and they everyone was just like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. And I was like,
so
this is the best.
How many different things did you try before getting to the suit?
Probably like 4 or 5, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even remember what they were because the suit was like a pink suit. Like, what? You can't beat that. And they knew it too. They knew it.
It's definitely the one. I'm trying to find the name. I want to say her name was Sky.
That sounds
Wasn't
right.
it Sky?
Yes, and she was fantastic.
Excellent.
I hope I hope we're getting the right name for her. But
I'm pretty sure.
So kind and patient and nice. So you wish that like every person you ever are on a set with could be like that because it was just like so nice.
Yep. Yeah. What an okay, and so then walk me through kind of your experience with shooting the movie, being on that big of a set.
I'd never been on a set that big before. The set was unreal. It was like a movie set. Like I've done some television hosting and stuff like that, and I've also done other sets both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I'd never been on I don't know how many people were working on that set, but like that's probably the biggest production I've ever been a part on.
Yeah. It was 200. It was a 200-person crew.
Yeah. I mean, my God. Like it kind of feels like a dream I had. It kind of doesn't feel like
me too.
Because like it was all orange also. Like everything you see in the movie was like an actual thing that they built.
Yeah, they built an all orange room.
So it feels like a Dr. Seuss dream in my memory.
It was one of the first times that I actually, and I think a lot of creators will experience this if you get to certain points of success. It was one of the first times for me that I ever felt like real imposter syndrome.
Oh, really?
I was like, what am I doing? Like, why is there so many people working on this of something that I meant? Like, it was really crazy. Cause like you're sitting there at, I remember we sat at like a round table, not on the set that we filmed on.
No, it was like to the side. Yeah.
And we kind of went through a couple scenes and stuff. And I remember like looking around and there's people like, there was just so many people. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like real.
Do you remember I was just sitting there with my iPad and like when we weren't doing anything, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to draw.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep, you're just sketching away. I know. And I really wish I shot a vlog for that trip and they never said not to film in there. I just assumed like, obviously don't.
I think that's best practice that you did that. But I think so too.
I really wish I would have had more behind the scenes because like it was a blast.
I wish I'd taken more photos of us all together. I think we were all just so nervous and like really like trying to be
tired.
We to this day, maybe like 1 or 2 other times in my whole life have I been as run ragged as we were shooting that and also self-inflicted because we weren't doing partying or anything like that, but like we would shoot for like 15 hours a day and then go back to the hotel and we were shooting videos there like we would eat and then shoot our own. So we would all have an ASMR video to post because we were like, we need to take advantage of the opportunity that we're all together in one place. Like this is never going to happen again. And then we were getting like 3 hours of sleep every night and then shooting.
It was insane. Because I think we had the car service was at like 6:10 or something like that.
That's how we got close. Was that like I was showing up to the car service with my hair in pin curls and like a headscarf and like my little glasses. And I was like, hello.
Yep, it was. Yeah, it was.
You were like, where's your hair? I was like, this is what it looks like in the morning.
Man, yeah, I think that it was really cool because we really all did have to push ourselves and each other for that shoot. Yeah. It was a lot.
And then we all got sick after.
And then we all got sick. Oh, God.
I literally woke up after the last day in the hotel and I had like a fever of 104. I was like, uh-oh, this seems bad.
I'm pretty sure the day that I got home, I slept for like 21 hours straight. Mm-hmm. Like it was insane. Oh, yeah. It was craziness.
But we did it. We got through. We did it.
Look. You know, if you look this movie up, which if you don't know,
should we have?
This. ALB and I and GB and Taylor Darling and Seafoam Kittens were in a movie sponsored by technically, I guess, Hershey's, but it was Reese
Canada.
Reese Canada, and if you're in the US, Reese sounds weird. It's because it's Reese's here, and I think what I've learned is that
I'm in Canada.
But I think the reason is that Reese's doesn't translate to French and Reese does. That's what I've heard.
I think there was also something to do with that. There was already a company here called Reese's or something. I don't know. Yeah. Why am I like giving you an answer like I know? Just like, here's a thing.
So look, we did this. We did this movie, and like it came out on YouTube, and then I think with licensing stuff, like it's not.
It was on TV and stuff too. It was on Crave.
They took it down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was on Crave.
It was on during the Handmaid's Tale season premiere.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was very cool for me.
That's big. Yeah. And then there was, you know, bus ads and stuff. And I know they like used your hand and.
Oh yeah. I did a little bit of extra really filming with them for like doing hand stuff. That sounds weird. Doing a hand with chocolate opening. You get it.
Correct. Yep. So. I get it. I am very proud of what we accomplished there, even though it has like a 3 out of 10 on IMDb. And by the way, if you ever really want a good laugh, go read the comments on IMDb. It's so funny.
I've never done that. I don't care what other people think.
I don't either, but it's very like it's so funny because it's kind of true, right? Yeah. It's like we did this thing because most of the comments are like, why am I watching this right now?
And that was the point of it.
Kind of thing.
It was like that was the whole cinema point of the absurd, right? Like it was to do something strange in a way that you're still watching it, right? Because it's like, what
especially
is this?
on television, it's I would call it disruption. It's you're going from the show to a normal commercial and then it's this, right? It's disrupting the. I'm very proud of it, and honestly, without that, who knows? You might not even be on this show. You know what I mean? don't take that. But I made.
We wouldn't be as close friends as we are now. That's for sure. I don't think because you and I like really connected during that time, and like I always think of us as like not unlikely friends. Like but I just think like we don't have similar interests necessarily, like in terms of on paper, except for disco, but I got you into disco, so unless you mean the music, which I know you were already into. But like on paper our interests don't necessarily line up.
When would we ever cross paths?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Exactly.
But exactly when we did the movie together, like we just like connected so quickly, and like ever since then, you know,
I agree.
It's cool.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. And I think someone did re-upload it onto YouTube.
Oh, really?
So I think if you want to watch it, there's a full version of it on.
You can go see my suit
on YouTube. You can go see her suit. Which you can see me.
Oh. Sky. She was like, take this.
Yeah. And you can see me with 100% ADR audio.
when
the
you
thing
told me
because
that, I was just like, what? I didn't record any ADR.
So ADR is essentially
it's in post, recording audio in post and like dubbing it
right.
over, basically.
It's dubbing. There we go. And so basically what we filmed this whole thing for like 5 days, and I was doing a soft spoken voice. And then when you guys were doing something, they were like, hey, we need you to go do ADR. I was like, okay, cool. And they gave me like lines and a binder that I had to read 20 times each. So they had different takes and everything. And then when and they wanted me to do that whisper.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the movie came out, the first line was whispered. And I was like, okay, that's an ADR line. And then like the next thing I said was whispered. And I was like, okay, a couple ADR lines. Okay. And the whole thing, and to credit them, they did an amazing job.
They honestly
because you
must
cannot
have synced
tell.
it really well. Because like if you hadn't told me that, I wouldn't have known. And I was there.
It's either that or I am an incredible actor who says the line so perfectly multiple times that it could line up.
There you go. Little column A, little column B, you know?
All right. Anyway, I love that movie. I love that we were both in it. And
looking forward to the next one, I think, that we're in together.
Reese 2.
I mean, we can do other, like, it doesn't have to be chocolate.
Okay.
Like the next project we were going to do.
Got it. Okay.
But if it really means that much to you, we can just do chocolate projects together.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Okay. All right. I think one of the things, and this is just me, from the outside looking in, of course, I think one of the things that is unique about you and your work is you have this really unique aesthetic that you've cultivated, this world that you have. And so where did that come from? Where do you find inspiration for your sets, for your videos, for how just kind of the aesthetic that you've created?
I mean, I haven't had the same like aesthetic taste my whole life, but I definitely have always been into vintage fashion since I was a kid. And that's very much influenced by my dad, because like even as a kid, we were always going to thrift stores and yard sales and picking stuff up on the side of the road to like make it cool or something like that. So even as like a 10-year-old, I was like really obsessed with the 70s, and I was wearing like bell-bottom pants and like fringe vests and like flowers in my hair. Like, I think it's a little bit of genuine inspiration in thinking that there's so many amazing places to take inspiration from in the past. I think it's a little bit of that, but I also think it's a little bit of, I have the kind of personality where it's like, you can't reject me because I've already rejected you first. So like when it comes to being not stylish, I think of myself as a stylish person, but I don't think of myself as a trendy person. My attitude, even as a teenager, where I was looking around and I was like, I want, as a teen girl, I was like, I want to have a cool style, but I really can't afford to do anything like what is anyone else around me is doing. So I'm going to do my own thing that is so out there and weird that you couldn't even compare it to what other people are doing. Yeah. So that it's like, I can't fit in because I'm not even doing the same. Yeah. I'm not even doing the same thing that you guys are doing. But in a way that was just like, that's how it had to be, because I couldn't afford to be trendy. Yeah. And, for so long in my 20s and stuff too, it was just like, I can't keep up with this. So I'm just going to I'm going to create my own thing and my own little world so that I can't be held to like, this isn't current, because it's like, it's not current. It's old.
Got it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
wow,
no one can compare what I'm doing if it's trendy, if it's stylish or not, because it's not trying to be stylish or trendy.
It's not.
Like, you know what I mean? If someone's if someone thinks it's ugly, I don't care, because it's not trying to be cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I think that's a really interesting take as a creator too, because like there's so much pressure to keep up as especially a YouTuber, right? There's so much pressure,
especially a YouTuber, especially like female YouTubers. There is a look, right?
There you go.
We all know that.
Yes.
There's a look.
Yep.
And I think it just came from like I can't be that, and I'm never going to be able to be that. So I'm just not even going to try. I'm going to go I'm going to run in the opposite direction. And if somebody likes that, that's great. But I just have to do what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Well, and it's worked. I think it's worked for you.
I mean,
I think you've built.
Luckily, because I'm just doing what I like anyway. So
right.
If it works, and I think it's working, at least to some degree, but that is great for me because I just am doing what I want to do anyway.
Love it. I really hope people are listening to this podcast and taking notes.
I'm making reviews. My God, we need your
I think that too, but really, even in the last 3 episodes, I've re-listened to some of them, there's gems in it that I didn't even react to, that I didn't even hear the first time.
Oh, you're gonna catch all my jokes way later. You're gonna be like, she's a genius.
It's so good, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Moving on. Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
Oh, absolutely, Lapras. You know that though, because you're an expert in that now. By the way, this is like not to do with anything. Probably 4 months ago, I was like, Maddie, Pokemon, what do you like? And you were like, yeah, I don't do that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Now that you're into Pokemon cards, I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm just like, like Mad Max music because you're in it with me now. Like there's no escaping.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm in. I still don't know anything.
You don't have to know. Nobody knows.
I am learning. I'm learning. I actually watch a YouTuber.
Was it me?
Yes.
Yeah, get those notifications on. Come on.
I watch a YouTuber who actually like plays the actual game.
Oh,
right?
Are you learning?
And she like explains, and I'm not learning, but I'm more observing just what
I need to watch that
is, because it's like it's so confusing to me still with the power and the.
I don't even know how to play. Like I play Magic the Gathering less recently, but because you have to play with other people. But I don't know how to play Pokemon. I just like the pretty pictures.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. Because when I was doing like pack openings on Twitch, I looked up getting a mat because there's like game mats with the little squares to put the cards in, and I thought about getting a mat for the unboxing. But anyway,
well, you might just wait and see what kind of mats come out.
Ooh. Okay.
That's all.
Lapras
for sure.
Is that how you say it?
Lapras. Lapras.
My have I told you what my favorite is?
Blastoise.
Yep. And just because of the name, I think Blastoise is a really.
It makes sense though. Like Blastoise is like a very good Pokemon for you because it's very powerful and like really OP in terms of strength, but also like it's very gentle also, and like I don't know, Blastoise is a good Pokemon.
Did you watch the Detective Pikachu? Detective. Did you watch it?
Oh my God, I saw it in theaters. #1 fan.
Okay. I saw it too. Was Blastoise in that?
I don't know. I only saw it once.
Oh, okay. All right. Thoughts on it? Did you like it?
It's fine.
As a Pokemon? Okay. I want to watch it now that I'm like, now that I know a little bit more about the things. I would like to watch it now.
You know what you should watch? I think I would enjoy the Pokemon anime. Like obviously a lot of the anime is targeted for kids, which is fine. Like it's a good show. But the Pokemon Alola series, which is like I think the newest one or maybe the second most recent, it's really cute. I watched the whole thing. I enjoyed it. I found it very entertaining. The animation style was like great. I don't know if you feel like watching. It's cute to throw on. It's no Golden Girls, but what are you going to do?
I played Pokemon Snap growing up.
Pokemon?
That's where my knowledge of Blastoise.
Have you played the new Pokemon Snap that just came out?
No. And I didn't do Pokemon Go either.
I'm still playing Pokemon Go. I've been playing it since 2016.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I've been playing since 2016.
Oh.
I only know because it tells you that on your account.
Oh, okay.
It's like, you've been playing since 2016. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay.
Got it.
I like it, though, because it's a walk-around game.
Yeah. yeah, there was I think whatever year, what did you say, 16?
Sure.
That it came out? Whenever that was, and it was like really, really big.
Yeah, there was like a
at
movement for Pokemon Go when that first came out. Yeah.
There was like 6 kids hit by cars in Portland because they were walking, looking at their phone, playing it. Next question.
Gotta catch them all.
I guess.
Yeah, and then someone pulls me up.
Oh, God, just crazy.
I just want you to know that I was told not to swear on this show.
By who?
I said a swear earlier. Yeah, the producer. I said a swear, and you were like, "Yeah."
The AD contacted you prior to this, and
yeah.
No, people have sworn. People have sworn.
Well, I'll know that I get one swear, and I'm going to keep it till later.
Okay, you get one. All right, there we go. I like that.
I'm not going to tell you which one either. We'll just have to see.
So, I'm on the edge of my chair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's dive in here. Where are we at here? Okay. Talk to me about being a lesbian creator. What's your experience been? What's your experience been with that?
It's been really interesting. So like, I feel, how can I put this? In my own daily personal life with my loved ones and my friends, like, I never came out to any person. I still haven't to this day. I've never had the experience of like sitting someone down and being like, Mom or Dad, like I haven't had that experience. I think, again, coming back to like the type of personality that I have, I've always kind of been like, I'll just show up the way I'm going to show up. And like, you can either get in the car and be on board, or like, I don't know, the car's taken off. Like, you got to get on board.
Yeah.
It's like I eloped too. I'm just kind of like, here's what it is. So anyway, I never like came out to anyone in my like daily life, but honestly, I feel like I'm constantly coming out online because every single time, and this, by the way, I'm not complaining about this because I actually don't think it's bad. I actually just think it's interesting. I'm more of just like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, where I'm just kind of like noticing things and being like, okay.
Got it. Excellent movie, by the way.
Oh, right. Or I'm just like, I'm just documenting. I'm just being like, this is interesting.
Okay.
Because like any time I will, and I feel like I have a very out-facing lifestyle where like I feel like I'm very upfront with my sexuality and where I'm at and who I am. But every time I'll post a picture or like I'll mention the fact that I'm married to a woman in a video or anything like that, I always get a, wait, what? You're gay? Yeah. You're married to, and it's just like, yeah. Like,
yeah. Okay. So I get what you're saying about you, like you are constantly.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not telling people. It's like, I'm just talking about my life and it's almost like,
right.
And it's okay that people make an assumption based on looking at me of that they think they know what my deal is, or maybe they're just coming to the table with what their own stuff is and their own worldview and what they think lesbians look like or whatever. And that's fine. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me that people don't know. Like for me, for example, like in my own way, I express my obviously very feminine style. For me, it's like it's a very gay femininity in what I think I'm doing, but I also recognize that that's not what the average person necessarily like interprets from what I'm putting out there. So it's just like an interesting thing where I do feel like every single time, every photo I post or anything I do, I'll just in a video be like, oh yeah, I got this from my wife and she said I could put it in the video, so we're enjoying it. And I'll just get like a what?
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. But a lot of the time it's like, oh, I didn't know. That's great.
Right.
So that's fine. But it's interesting.
That's very interesting. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, you and I both know a couple of people at least who in no way share their romantic life online. They keep it very separate. Yeah. They don't say that they're even in a relationship online. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, for the record. Like, it's a choice, and it, especially if you have a certain type of audience, it might be beneficial for you to not share so much of your private life. And like, again, I think that that's fine. I just like, I don't think I could do that. Like, I have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a topic that would be really interesting to go through. But you know, I know a lot of female creators, not even just in ASMR, but a lot of female creators that were like, once my fans or once my viewers found out I was married or something, like they either got mad or stopped watching me.
I know a couple of women,
or you know what I mean?
I have a couple of female friends. It's the same. They don't share,
and that's. And I think that's a really interesting topic, because obviously that's not, you know, it's a mentality of a viewer to watch. If you watch someone, you start, the nature of YouTube, I guess, and maybe especially with ASMR, is like you start to build this rapport with this creator, right?
Absolutely.
You start to become friends.
As a viewer, I feel like I am. I'm watching these people that I love watching, and they make amazing stuff. And it's not that I think I know them, but I feel familiar with them. You know what I mean? Like their videos feel very comforting to me, and I feel, not that we have a relationship, of course not, but it's just like I feel comforted by seeing them, you know? And we're all bringing our own stuff to the stuff we watch. We're bringing our own biases, and we're bringing our own, what we think is happening behind the scenes of the camera, which probably is not true at all.
Exactly.
I just, for myself, like that part of me is like one of the best parts of my life. Like, it's like one of the things that literally is the biggest source of joy in my life is my wife.
I love that.
Like, I honestly have to constantly temper how much I'm posting and talking about her, because I just think like that she's like the funniest person.
I love it.
So I'm just like, it's interesting, you know, and I'm really grateful. I mean, you and I have very different audiences, but my audience is like 90% female. And it's been really great to be able to be myself and be embraced for that. You know, like obviously I do deal with poop heads sometimes who are just like homophobic and whatever. And it's just like, block and move on. But like, for the most part, it's been really good.
Okay, stop. Okay, right there. Okay. This is what I would love to talk to you about this, because what you just said is
poop heads. Yes. Let's go back to poop heads.
Well, but what you just said is something that's really important, I think, for creators, because I'm to that point too, where it's like, see something bad, it's like, oh, block, remove, whatever. See you later. Great. Like, I actually love banning people on Twitch. It's one of my favorite things. It's. I say that to them. I'm like, all right, see you later. Have a great life.
Goodbye.
Not watching this stream anymore. But I think that comes with some experience and some skin thickness growing and stuff. And so, you know, what you just said was like, well, you know, block and all of that. But I don't necessarily think it's that easy for a lot of people.
No, it's not. Right? It's like, I mean, I've been doing this since, God, how long have I been doing YouTube? Apparently since I was 6 years old.
So do you have any words of advice or anything for creators out there who may deal with that, and especially in again, being a lesbian creator?
I mean, my attitude and how I look at it is that I have, to the extent to which I am able to moderate things, because obviously I have my limitations. I'm only one person. I can't be everywhere at once. But I see people leaving mean comments towards me that are maybe hateful, maybe homophobic, sexist, blah, 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 worse, all kind of things. I don't really take it like it's at me, even though it's obviously phrased like it's at me. I come from a place of like, I don't want one of my viewers to have to see that. So I just delete it.
I'm so glad you said that.
Like,
I'm so glad you said that.
I just delete it because I don't want them to have to see it, because like, it's not like it's water off a duck's back for me. Like, obviously sometimes people can say things and it hurts my feelings, but I'm just like, people who are in a more vulnerable position than I am in, and they're kind of figuring things out for themselves, I don't want them to see that shit. I don't want them to have to deal with it.
It is such a great point. There's your cuss word, by the way. You did it.
Did I do it? Oh.
I'm kidding. I don't care. But no, but you just brought up a great point, because that's exactly why I remove comments and block people too, because one, like obviously I don't want to go back to the comments and see that, of course, but it's not necessarily about me. It's I'm cultivating an experience on YouTube, and the comments are a huge part of YouTube. People will click on a video and go to the comments immediately to see what people are saying. And it's just, in my mind, that's not the vibe and not the things that I want people to see on my videos. You know what I mean? So
and it's not about you. Like, it is about you, but it's not about
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
You don't want your community to have to deal with that, especially a lot of times. I mean, people are they can be a little bit looking for people like them on the internet. Sometimes that's not the case. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers who are like wearing completely different like interests. It's like, opposites, but just like there's something about you that feels intrinsically linked to something in me that I'm, looking at and feeling connected to. And if I see a comment like that, I'm going to be like, oh, maybe there is something wrong with me. And I don't want my viewers to have to deal with that. So it's just like, I kind of take it more of like a responsibility of like, I'm not going to, if you leave like a rude comment on myself, like, I'm not going to like get into it with you. I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care that your words, like what you're saying, because it frankly can hurt my feelings. I'm very, very sensitive, but like, I don't care enough to like talk about it with you. I'm just gonna delete it. Like, I don't have time.
Look, at the end of the day, one, it's just not. We don't have time to do that, of course. But also too, if you're thinking of the psychology of why a lot of these people say these things, right?
Oh yeah.
It's there's different reasons, of course. But especially for my demographic, it's to get a response.
That's it. Whether it's a good response or a bad response, they want a response, and it's really hard. I've seen you do it, and I'm a mod for you.
Oh yeah,
so I know.
Oh yeah,
that it's really hard to not have a reaction.
I mean, to a certain extent, I like to troll people back once every 10 videos or something, because it's funny, and most of the time it's just calling them out on their spelling, because no one can spell your
I can't
correctly.
Either. I'm garbage at spelling. Have you ever tried to spell check or write without spell check lately? I think I'm so used to it.
I don't use spell check.
It autocorrects on my phone, so now when I go to write something with pencil, I'm like, color? Is there a U?
Right.
I don't know.
I a random Matty fact: I don't use the autocorrect on the phone when texting.
That explains a lot.
I turn seriously though, probably.
No, you have very impeccable spelling.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, I just think for creators out there, look, I hate saying to other creators like, well, it's just part of the job.
It's not. It's shit. Like it's
not part of the job. It is not part of the job.
No.
But and yes, and but unfortunately, it is something. I mean, I don't think no matter what size your channel is, you're going to deal with it.
You know what I think? I think it's reframing, right? Like instead of looking at it as a part of the job or something we have to bear, because we shouldn't have to. It's horrid, especially if you're like a person of any marginalized identity on the internet. The kind of shit that you have to deal with, it's not fair and it's not right. It shouldn't come with the job. But I think it's a matter of reframing of like, okay, if I want to keep growing with whatever platform I'm on, I want to create a place for people to be and exist and communicate with each other that feels good and that feels safe. And I want to cultivate that kind of community. And that's a great and joyful responsibility. It is hard to not take things personally because they're personal attacks sometimes. But what I try to do just for myself, for my own mental health, is just like, okay, well, that has nothing to do with me. That's their own thing. Yep. Whatever the person is commenting, like that actually doesn't have to do with me. So I'm just going to deal with this in a way that makes it good for the people who are watching my stuff. Because that's the people I actually care about at the end of the day,
Yep.
So.
Yep. And honestly, recently I've tried to, by the way, you're a mod for me?
Oh, my VIP?
On YouTube?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Not on YouTube.
Okay, anyway.
Wait, I am a mod on YouTube. I'm a VIP in your Twitch.
Okay.
A little brag.
You didn't have to flex on everyone like that.
It's okay, you're my monster. Because I don't know how to use Twitch.
One of the things I've been doing on YouTube with comments and responding to bad things, honestly, is and especially with the video that I just put up, which by the time you guys hear this, there's probably another video out. But
you put them out so quick. That's the thing. By the time this is out, you'll probably have like 10 videos out.
It's probably true. But what I've been trying to do is really, really build a community of people who feel safe to say like, hey, like this video's really helped me because fill in the blank, right? And so a lot of the comments that I've been doing, responding to like any kind of hateful thing, a lot of the and my fear is that it comes off sarcastic because it can, I guess. But I've been responding to be like, hey, whatever you're going through right now that made you write that, I hope it gets better for you and blah, 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 right? And it comes across, if someone reads that, it could come across sarcastic. But I think that's a better route than saying something trolly back.
Yeah, I mean,
if that makes sense.
My personal personal rule at this point is I don't get involved. Like it really doesn't matter to me. But I think if you do have the capacity to leave a response, it's better to just come at it from a loving place.
This goes back to what we were just talking about of we don't want our community to see these comments, so we delete them, right? It's kind of the opposite for me in certain situations where no, I would love for someone to read this and go, you know what? He's right, or that's a good way to
see someone being that way.
You know what I mean?
Getting embraced with love. Like maybe even someone who is having the inclination to write something like that, and it's just like, you don't need to do that here. Like, it's okay,
Exactly. Yep.
That's something I really appreciate. That's something I really appreciate about your community and you, which I've talked to you about before, is that I feel like what I see as someone who watches your stuff and who watches your Twitch and who sees your community and participates in your community and considers myself to be someone. But I feel like you cultivate a community where it's a safe place for young men to talk about mental health and to talk about struggles. And I don't see that a lot of places online. And that's one of the things that I love about you.
I mean, that is exactly why I just did the video that I just did of the friend calming you down at school. Right.
It's like 60 videos away now. That's you've done so many since then.
But like and honestly, when you told me that a while ago, that was like it was like a light bulb. It was like, you know what? That's actually a really good point. And I don't necessarily make my content for that specific demographic.
I wasn't saying you do. It's just something I see.
But, I know. Yeah. But I'm just saying now though, I'm cognizant of that.
When I said it to you.
It's it's a really interesting angle to take occasionally because it's not hard to look at my demographic and know who's watching.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, but I see that in how they respond
really cool.
to you, I guess is what I'm saying. Not just necessarily what you're making, but also how your audience and your viewers will talk to each other. It's really nice.
Right.
That's why I like being a part of your community. It's a very nice place.
Yeah, they love you on the Twitch.
Well,
literally,
that's just because I'm Cornelius' mom.
When I've streamed and you haven't been there, people are like, "Wait, where's ALB?"
Why don't you have a redeem where you call me?
Oh, that's a great idea.
What if I redeem it?
Okay, that's wait.
Yeah, like I just really want you to call me,
God.
So I redeem it.
Oh my God!
It's like I just really want attention. I'm like, I really want to talk to Matty.
So, not a bad idea. All right, so kind of linking to what we were just talking about, and I guess this is kind of a broad way to ask this, I guess, but talk to me. Or what are your thoughts, or talk to me about mental health regarding being a creator online?
1 out of 5 stars. Not a fan of mental health. mental health bad. Boo.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been an interesting time. I mean, you, as a friend of mine, you know that like I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm probably having like one of the worst times of my life right now. Just like I have probably not been this like depressed since probably like I was a teenager, like 1 year ago. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's like hard times out here, you know, like there's a lot of very real trauma happening, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Like there's just everybody has a lot of stuff happening, and balancing that with being very online has been interesting.
Yeah. I the last time I was at therapy, she said that her like appointments and stuff are up like 600% in the last year.
And that's just me. That's just for me being
and that's just you going every hour.
No, like remember the other day when you were like, "How is therapy today?" And I was like, "Bad." But that's like that's good, I think. Like although I'm in like a bad place, I'm not gonna give up. Like I'm gonna do the work.
And just the fact that you went is the good part, by the way.
Sometimes that's all you can do is just go.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So when you're in a place like that, being an online creator, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just gonna say, I don't know if I necessarily have good or helpful advice. My problem is that when I am in this headspace, I tend to really isolate myself. And not want to participate in anything, friendships, like any like activities. Like I'm just like, I just start to not push people away, but I'm just like, I have to like close my bubble really, 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 really tight. And the work of it is like pushing, it's like actually making myself uncomfortable constantly because it feels more comfortable when I'm in that headspace to not talk to anybody, because then I don't have to explain to people what is happening to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but when you're online and you're like very online, like capital VO, very online, like mitigating that space of how much of that do you want to share, especially when as ASMR creators, to some extent, our content feels a little bit like a refuge for other people. So then it's like,
for sure,
I don't want to like put my stuff on other people. And it's like, is it possible for me to somehow work through what I'm going through in a creative way, in a way that helps other people? Maybe, but I haven't gotten there yet. For me, it's just of like, I just have to put myself in the chair and like push through. But I think to that note that it's okay to kind of step back, you know?
I mean, look, this has been a topic, I think, every episode about taking a break, right? And I think that that's not a coincidence that it's so commonly.
It feels like a I don't know, like a fable that you're trying to, like one of those like riddles. It's like, how do you take a break when, if you take a break, the algorithm punishes you? Those two things don't fit together, right? But I don't know what the solution is there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think talking with Glow, I think it was on the episode. We were talking about like, look, we know you like. It's not like YouTube is going to go, all right, we're shutting down for a week so no one can upload, so you guys can take a break. We obviously that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah. We're only playing cat videos this week. Everybody else,
right. Which would, by the way, would kind of be amazing.
It would be a better internet. It would be can I have cheese? Can I have cheeseburger? I almost said it right. I was like, can I have cheeseburger, please?
But I think though a step though is, even if it's just awareness, if YouTube put a video out that's like, hey, we know you guys work really hard on this, taking a break is important.
No, I don't think that's going to help I don't think that's going to help anybody.
You don't think so?
No, I think that what it has to be is that people who are subscribed to you will just get notifications from your channel regardless of if they've watched a video from you in the last 3 days. I don't think awareness is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I think awareness really only benefits the people who are in a place where they can receive it. But I think that actual change, direct change, is what would actually lend aid in those situations.
I guess what I meant by that is it seems like as creators on YouTube, it's so isolating. It's so like we just do everything by ourselves, right? And I guess what I meant by that is, for me, it makes me feel better knowing this is gonna sound crazy, but it makes me feel better knowing that I'm not the only person going, I need a break.
No, yeah, you're right about that.
But I'm
you're
scared
totally
too.
Right about
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like if other creators knew and could accept that, like, hey, we're kind of all in the same
That's
boat.
what this is.
There
right
we go.
now.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We're all just sending lifelines out to each other, like, "Hey, are you here with me?" Like, do you also feel like we're gonna sink the ship?
You know? Yeah, I just think like, and for creators out there listening to, I've spoken about this before, but just this pressure that a lot of the times, honestly, we put on ourselves. This pressure isn't necessarily coming from anyone but our self and fears and all of that. But there's this pressure of like, I cannot take a break because fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different reasons, right? Yeah. And so when you're struggling with mental health, that pressure is just pushing on you because you're like, well, I literally can't do this today.
It's that cycle, right?
And then
you don't do
immediately
it, and then you
you're
feel
like,
worse.
but I gotta
like,
yeah.
Every day you put it off because you're feeling XYZ, it gets worse, and the pain of picking it back up gets worse too.
There you go.
It's tricky. I really wish I had some like really insightful little tidbit to offer in a solution.
No. Again, for creators though, I think it's beneficial to just hear other creators talk about things that they're going through too.
Yeah. We out here.
In your almost 10 years, by the way, on you, have you taken breaks?
I have never taken a break, but I have been not posting because of like life being out of control. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah.
Like I've never taken a break. I've never taken a break from creating once, but I have not been posting because of things beyond my control, if that makes sense. Or sometimes I'll get really wrapped up in a big project and it's like, well, I'm not going to post a video this week because this other huge project is taking up all the time.
It's really funny because in my mind, a break is not filming. That's for some reason that is just where my mind goes. It's not filming.
When I'm not working on this, I'm working on something else, though, right?
But that's the thing, though, is like, so if in my mind, if I go, okay, I'm going to take a vacation for 7 days, automatically my mind goes, okay, got to pre-film a bunch of videos so I can still upload. And then I'm uploading them and posting, and that's not a break.
No, you're actually doing.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I talk about with my wife too, where I'm just like, if I get sick, I either have to get a bunch of work done before I get sick so that it's ready for when I'm sick, or I have to work extra hard after I'm done being sick. Like, it's interesting. And I don't even think that's really unique to YouTubers. I think it's just freelance.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the lifestyle of freelance. And I think that you're one of those people where you keep 6 or 7 irons in the fire at all times, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
It is really good to diversify, so that you're not reliant on one thing. But then there's a lot of irons you got to keep moving around.
For sure. And to be honest, you know, I've had this podcast name, I've had the artwork and stuff for a year, and I just put it out, and it's because one, I wanted to develop it and kind of figure out what I wanted to do with it, but also like I'm like, can I really do this and everything else? Like, should I add another thing to my
another iron? You know? Like, it's another thing you have iron. It's a lot of work.
But I will say this though. I will say it's been for the amount of work that it is, and it, you know, it's starting a channel from scratch again, which is for me very exciting.
I was gonna say that must be kind of fun because like you're someone who's had a channel for a couple of years now, at least, right?
Fun.
So it's just like, not that you're locked into it, but that this is like a clean slate. You can do anything with it.
I got excited last week. The channel that you guys are watching this on, the Critical Podcast YouTube channel, got it like hit the threshold to monetize. And I had forgotten how that felt because it's been 5 years since that happened on my normal channel. And so it's like that stuff, like that building part is what's really exciting.
Absolutely.
But I will say this though, I a lot of you guys in the comments, and especially other creators and stuff, that are saying like, this was super helpful, I'm so glad you're doing this. That is what is pushing me to do this show, because that is genuinely why I started the show. And I'm learning stuff from every creator too. Like, it's not just this is not just for new creators. I think that's even said in the intro music.
I knew from the beginning this was just a scam for you to learn everyone's secrets.
It's just to know everything.
You're just gathering everyone's information and all of their creator secrets, their codes, you would say. And then who knows what you'll do with them? Blackmail? It's still an option for you.
I mean, it is. It's keeping it open. Yeah. Okay. I love how this is going. Okay.
Can we start over?
Talk to me.
Is it too late?
It is. It really is too late. All right. Talk to me about your progress on your roller skates. How's that going?
Okay, so here's the thing. I already know how to skate.
Okay, but give me some background.
Okay, so ages ago when I was living,
you invented roller skates?
I invented roller skating. Actually, a fun fact about me is that my grandmother started a roller rink in my hometown.
Last name Roller.
First name Rink. But when I still lived in my hometown, which was a really small town, I was on a roller derby team, and I loved it.
Love it.
I loved it so much.
Is there footage of that anywhere?
I don't know.
Oh Maybe. My God. I would do almost anything for footage of you. Oh my God. Okay.
I love roller skating so much more than I actually enjoyed playing the sport. I just liked roller skating and I liked being on a team with a bunch of cool women. I was like, this is the best. I wasn't
for sure
that good, but I just liked being a part of it.
It's dangerous.
Oh my God. That's why I quit.
Dangerous.
I was like, I can't. I watched someone break a leg and I was like, ooh, I don't think I should be here anymore.
Would it be called a match? A game?
It's a game.
What would you call it? A game. Yeah. I've been to a couple, and the first time my jaw dropped. Seeing it, I'm like, that girl's clavicle just snapped. I'm like, oh, this is craziness.
Yeah. It's rough.
Okay.
So I'm not really interested in playing anymore. But I love roller skating so much. So my personal goal, because I think it's fun to make little goals for yourself that are pointless, but could, not pointless, but they don't have a big meaning in maybe your career. You're not I'm going to learn to, do something for my job, which is those are good goals, but I can't deal with that right now. So I decided that my goal for the summer is I'm going to learn how to twirl in my roller skates. So
love it.
Can't do
how's
it
that
yet.
Going?
Can't. Nothing to report.
Okay.
But what's important is that I'm trying, and then hopefully by August I'll be able to report back, and I'll show you my twirl.
Hey, and look, I mean, unless you're doing it in your living room, it's getting you out of the house a little bit, right?
So far, I've only been doing it on my balcony.
Okay. But look, that's outside.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Right?
It's technically
that's outside.
Good. No, but I mean, seriously, I am really excited about this twirl thing.
You should be, and you should be. And look, at the end of the summer, we're gonna follow up.
No, I need you to hold me accountable.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you accountable to this.
I've shown you my day one video, which was me just walking in a circle because I can't do a twirl yet. So next thing you know, I'm gonna be in the Dua Lipa video doing my roller skates.
Oh, I really hope so.
And the baby will be like, "Great job. That's a twirl. You did it."
All right. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'm going to name 6 things, and I want you to tell me what your favorite part of the creative process is out of these 6 things.
Okay.
The idea, setup, props, filming, editing, outcome. What is your favorite part of that
My
process?
favorite part you didn't list, but it could fit into something, which is lighting.
Okay.
That's the part. Would you consider that the setup?
Setup.
That's the part.
Yeah. Your favorite part is lighting.
I just love when a plan comes together. Like I love
Yeah.
I love it when it
Are
looks
you self-taught?
100% self-taught. Yeah. I have not been to any formal schooling whatsoever. So everything I know how to do, I taught myself how to do, including twirling. So
one of the things I told myself when I went to Toronto to film that movie, I was like, all right, observe and like try to learn some things at this shoot.
How'd that go?
And then I got home and I'm like, you know what? I don't have a $35,000 jib crane.
Sometimes that's really what makes the difference.
And so I'm like, nothing on that set I have or do.
You're
so
like,
I'm like, yeah, oh my God. Even remember that the enormous like circular light?
Gorgeous.
Above the table?
That was the ultimate ring light.
That's like a 12-foot ring light.
They built that for the set. Like, we can't get that.
Insane.
The things I would do if I had access to stuff like that, though. That's like my daydream. So I guess to some extent the idea. I ruminate on my idea for a good long time.
If you were to ask me what I thought your favorite part was, I would have said idea.
The idea.
I would have said idea.
Because you know that I sit.
Because we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, and I'll sit on an idea for about 6 months before I'll actually make it.
We've been on calls just chatting, and you're like, all right, hold on, I gotta write this down.
Yeah, because I just write anything down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have my little notebook, and there's ideas in there from like 3 years ago that I still haven't done yet, but it's like I've been slowly gathering the pieces. So made a little bit harder by the fact that we can't go to thrift stores right now, but we do our best.
True. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. I have within eyesight of me, I have two ALB art pieces in my office.
The subjects of which are
Halloween and Star Trek Discovery.
Which I got you to watch.
I'm trying not to look at the Star Trek Discovery one because I'm scared there's a spoiler.
No.
Are you sure?
No.
There's not like a little... Okay.
Not from what you've seen.
Okay. So anyway, I have a couple pieces that I love. They're framed.
Very supportive,
is your
way. Thank you.
Of course. Is your art a skill that you learned, or were you born with that? Where did that come from?
I mean, I don't think anybody is born with art skills, but I think that some people are like born with like maybe a little bit of a propensity towards like maybe a creative endeavor or like a strength endeavor or like things like that. Like I'm a big believer of like, if you spend 1,000 hours doing something, you will get better at it. It's like I could spend 1,000 hours learning how to play football. I don't think I could be a professional football player, but I could probably get really good at playing football if I like dedicated my time to it. I know I'm not going to
That's my next channel.
I'm not going to do it.
That's my next channel. I'm starting. It's my next channel.
Football?
ALB plays football for 10
That was a bad example.
Hours.
We're just gonna that's out of our minds, okay? But what I'm saying is that like, so I feel like I was probably born with like maybe a something that propelled me towards creative stuff. But everything that I learned how to do, I taught myself how to do. And I also will say I grew up in a household that like was very supportive of artistic stuff. It was really funny because like getting married and everything, like I realized that there were certain things that were like kind of not normal about my household. Like, for example, my family considered, and I think it also helps that like I have a bunch of older siblings who like my older sister is also like an artist as well. So like if I was painting or working on art or something, I was off limits. I couldn't ask to do chores. I couldn't be asked to like put away dishes or things like that. That was like holy time in my house.
Got it.
So like it was very, very respected, which is like I've learned is not normal. But
that's really cool though.
Yeah.
I mean,
my dad was like a photographer and stuff. So like it was like considered that's you're working. Doing art is you're working.
Love that. Okay.
So then like as an adult, I would be like painting something and then Nico would come in and be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Do you not see what I am doing?
I am locked in right now.
I am doing important work." And she's like, "You're drawing Neopets." Right. And I'd be like, "That's not the point."
Right.
This is important.
Funny. Yeah. Right. Interesting.
So yeah, I think it's like I think maybe she's born with it, but it's like maybe it's Maybelline, you know? Okay. I hope that clears things
and
up.
By the way, so all of your art is done with lipsticks then? Is that
I would say 90 to 92%. Yeah. Lipsticks. I just kiss the picture. I go, and then there's art there.
And it's okay. Love it. Yeah. All right, I got a few more for you. This next one, I actually streamed today and asked the chat. I told them who the guest is.
You told them?
And I did. And so I wanted to get a viewer chat question for you.
I love the chat.
So this
chat,
is
Maddie's chat. I'm always there.
You are. I love seriously, you. Yeah.
I'm your number one fan, chat.
All right, so this is from I don't know if this is their first time in chat or not, but I love it. I honestly they had a bunch of questions and I picked the one that I thought would be the best. So this is from A Boxhead 69.
Nice.
They said this is the question that they wanted to ask you. For an ASMR, do you think there will be new triggers in the future, or will everyone eventually be doing the same ones?
Oh, there will be new triggers. There's new. I find new stuff every day. I literally find new stuff every single day, and also because I think I've been doing this a long time. That like the kind of stuff that was like interesting and unknown like 3 years ago is like considered old hat now. It's like what were you and I were talking about, like cranial nerve exams. That's like tried and true. It's like when I first started doing videos, like that was not even a thing. So like I feel like there's always going to be new triggers that we'll discover. But I also think that has to do with technology changing, because the way that we are able to capture sound and capture moments is changing, right? I feel like there's a lo-fi revival happening right now. That's my thoughts.
For sure. You heard it here first. Lo-fi revival.
We don't make the news. We just report it.
I completely agree with you, and also just like people will find a way. People always adjust. People always figure something out.
Also, think about like the fact that so much of ASMR is based on nostalgia. So what was in my childhood is not going to be in what was in someone else's childhood too.
That's a good point. As
time goes
on. Someday someone's going to be tapping on an iPhone 12 and they're going to go retro iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. It will be you. You'll be making that video.
I'll be on Apple Video 91.
You'll be like, here's the iPhone 38 compared to the iPhone 12. Ooh. Vintage.
Oh my God. That's a great point though, actually, is that what is retro to people is changing every. Great point.
Exactly. Like when I did a video with a rotary phone, I did get comments that were like, what is that?
Yeah.
Which I don't think is weird. Like not everyone gets to see something like that all the time. So you might not be familiar with it. So.
For sure. Yeah. I have like a running joke with my YouTube community about floppy disks, about how I'm like, you guys don't even know what that is. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right, I got a few more for you.
Didn't know about that. I'm much too young.
Yeah, I mean, look, you started at 6, so you've been doing this for a long time.
It's crazy.
I do this with every guest, and it's gotten a really good response because I think a lot of people out there want to know what their favorite creators are using. So let's talk equipment with you. Cameras, mics, what are you currently using?
So
not like right now, but like what are you using on your
you're like, no,
your
don't say the mic you're using right now. It's garbage.
Right. No.
Okay, so the mics that I'm using are the Rode N1s. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Really love them. My camera is a Canon 80D. And nice. I love it. I love it. At one point I was looking to upgrade to something, pardon me, that is 4K. But then I was like, who's got the time?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I love my Canon 80D. It's like my little baby.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's all about the lenses. This is what I wish someone had told me a long time ago. Mm-hmm. You can have like a not so great camera. If you have great lenses, everyone will be like, what camera is that? It's all lenses, I'm telling you. Oof.
100%. I completely agree, because I'm in the process of maybe upgrading, maybe not. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's like a camera person, and they were like, don't get that really expensive camera. Use the camera you have, and here's a link to this lens that's cheaper than the new camera. Still expensive.
Oh yeah, lenses are like $1,600. Really, it's wild.
Yeah. But they were like, you have the base of your camera. What it does is as good as it gets. It's just the lens that you need that's gonna take it to the next level.
And so as far as like editing equipment and stuff, I use a Final Cut Pro and an iMac that Matty helped me pick out. So it was the real Apple Store role play. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's true. You got the actual. That was fun.
He was like,
that was fun.
I was like, me a computer.
And that is a hell of a computer that you got too. I love it.
I only work with the best. What can I say?
All right, two more. If you could hear anyone on this podcast in the future, who would you like to hear?
Can we get Tignataro? Okay, you can choose between Tignataro, Sonequa Martin Green, or Patty Harrison.
Oh.
Those are your... But in a serious note, okay, those are all actors, so I shouldn't have even... They're not online creators. And if I'm actually being serious, the ultimate get, okay, would be ASMR requests.
Can I tell you something?
Please.
I sent her an email.
Good.
I sent her an email about it. We follow each other on Twitter, but obviously she's not on there for like 6 years, so I don't expect her to respond or anything. But I put it in the universe. I sent her a very nice email.
Is ask. That's my attitude. The worst someone can say is a no, and it's like, well, then you're exactly where you were before you sent the email.
Again, if she ever gets on the show, 1, that's the end of the show.
That's it.
And 2, that's it. And 2, the show will be very boring for people because it's just going to be me starstruck.
You're just going to be crying.
You're amazing.
Yeah. I'll like come on as your co-host and be like, we're so sorry, Matty cannot fulfill the requirements today. He will not be asking questions. He will just be crying. Also, Heather Feather would be... See, I'm just this is all just like wish fulfillment where I'm just like, I think so highly of them, and I just...
It's also showing when you came into the community, too, because these are also 2 OG incredible creators.
I think about them a lot.
Both of whom, me too. You know what? I want to publicly say this because I might have tweeted about it, I don't remember. But Heather Feather 1 to me is I think that ASMR Request has the greatest ASMR video of all time.
I know, I agree.
I think Heather,
I'm on the exact same page.
I think that Heather though did so much for ASMR when she was really, really going
here.
And
without Heather, in my opinion.
So I'll say this though, and honestly, this is a really good lesson for creators out there too. When I first started, I had under 1,000 subs. Heather Feather reached out to me on Twitter in a DM and said, "Hey, you're doing a great job." Word for word. And literally in my head, I went, okay, so Michael Jordan, I'm in middle school and Michael Jordan just told me I'm playing good basketball, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is the greatest thing ever, right?
How meaningful that must have been for you too. Like,
oh, it was huge. And so I try to pass that on though. So I've reached out to smaller channels and creators and stuff and just been like, hey, great job on this, right?
That.
Or something like that.
You don't know how big of a deal it can be to someone. Especially like,
but that's the thing is I do because it happens.
Yeah, I know. I think I just get in my own head where like you and I have friends who are YouTubers who have like 2 or 3 million subscribers. So I always think of myself as like Little Miss Spider.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I'm just a little creator, and it's like, but to someone else I might not be. You know, like that perspective is so important.
Yep. And so, and then, and also, just Heather's such a nice, I won't go into detail about what it said, but, 2019 and in 2019, when my dad passed, she sent me a really long DM on Twitter, and it was the nicest thing ever.
That's amazing.
Ever.
And comes
so
as no surprise.
shout out to, exactly. Yep. So shout out to Heather Feather. Would love to have you on the show if you see this. If not, you're still
our star, our North Star.
You're a star. Yep. All right. So so who you would like to hear on the podcast is a lot of people.
Yeah.
I would love
have a
Tig.
list. You want my list?
Tig would be amazing.
Oh my god.
Tig would
be the ultimate get.
All right, last question. We're gonna dig deep here. It's the most serious. I know. I try to keep this lighthearted.
This is gonna be a dumb question. I'm ready.
Lighthearted.
It's gonna be more duck stuff.
You know,
you're a clickbait machine. This is how you work.
It doesn't work. I knew that this episode would not work because you know how I talk.
And so
you know
in clickbait. You text me in clickbait. This is the kind of text I get from Matty. The most unbelievable thing ever just happened to me. And then there will be nothing that comes after that. And I'll have to respond and be like, are you okay? And then it will be like, I got a free bacon in the drive-thru. Or just like
that actually did happen.
That's how you talk.
Listen, it's because I want it to be an experience.
And can I tell you?
Right? You gotta really build it up. You gotta I hope so.
Oh, it's an experience.
So you clearly it doesn't work. So
please lay it on me.
But I am asking every creator this because I'm keeping a score. Pineapple on pizza, the world would like to know your thoughts on that. Are you yes or no? And you cannot be in the middle. It is a yes or no question.
I mean, you can have whatever you want on your pizza. I don't have to eat it.
I understand that. I'm talking about you.
Pizza. Do I like it? No, I don't like it.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
I don't like it.
Okay.
But I'm not like,
that's a no.
Pineapple on pizza. I don't care.
Of course not.
I don't like
half
of the thing that people eat. Like
this is personal. This is personal preference. Do you like it or not?
I just don't want to be misquoted as a pineapple hater
judging
later.
Oh, trust me. That's the headline of this. ALB hates all people who like. No, this is. I'm not asking this to judge people who like it or not.
Fuck SpongeBob in particular. I hate pineapples. I hate people who live in pineapples under the sea. I hate pineapples on pizza.
Okay, wait. Okay, so not a fan of pineapples on pizza. Do you like pineapple in general?
Yeah, I do, but I'm allergic to it.
Oh God, that's right.
It makes my tongue go weird. But I think that's kind of once a week.
That's like the most common. I know a lot of people that pineapple does that.
But I still eat it. I'll have less because I'm like, I don't want to like die.
Yeah, don't do. Yeah, you're allergic to that. Okay. All right. So that's for people keeping score at home. That is a no for ALB. That is a no.
Why do I feel like that's going to come back to haunt me in some way?
Oh, I will.
I'm sure.
No, I'm kidding.
They've got the receipts now. Right. Let me tell you.
All right. Listen, this was a blast. I'm so glad we got to make this happen outside of the pilot. Let's call it a pilot.
It was the pilot. Yeah.
It was absolutely the pilot. So where can they find you online? This is your time to plug away.
Right. So I am ALB in Whisperland on YouTube. That's where you can find me. I'm also ALB in Wonderland on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. So Whisperland for YouTube and Wonderland for pretty much everything else. Please come follow me.
Absolutely.
I'm here. I'm doing it. That's it. I hate pineapple. Yep. Apparently,
I love it. Definitely find her if you're not yet. What about your art? Where's that at?
It's on all that stuff. But also, also, I should also, this is actually, thank you so much. My website is albinwonderland.com. And on there I have original pieces for sale. I have prints. I have embroidered patches. I have pins. I have all kind of stuff. So if you want to check out, I also have my portfolio on there. If you're just like, what kind of stuff does she make? What does she paint? What's all this? You can go look there, and that's it.
Yep. Check it out. Buy some pieces. I have 2. They're great.
You might have an original soon too. We'll see. Play your cards right.
Oh, now who's clickbaity?
It's the end of the thing. This isn't clickbait. It's like a to be continued.
That's a to be continued. Okay, all right. Listen, thank you for being on here. This was a blast. I knew it would be. I'm very happy to be able to call you a friend in this time and community, and
in these trying times.
I'm very glad.
I'm also very glad to call you my friend.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad we got to make this happen.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for being
here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube if that's where you're watching.
And hit that bell.
If not, hit the bell. Just do it. And Apple Podcasts, again, leave a 5-star review, write something nice if you would like to. Spotify, everywhere else you're listening to this, thank you so much. This has been the Creator Code Podcast. I am your host, MattyTingles. Be safe out there. Be kind to others and yourself. See you next time.
Bye.